Imagine reaching into an old jar of change you haven't touched in years and pulling out a penny so rare, so unexpected, that it could instantly change your financial life. Now imagine that same penny selling on today's market for a jaw-dropping $989,000. If that idea sends a lightning bolt of excitement through your mind, good. Because today we're diving into one of the most profitable modern coin discoveries, the 1995 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, a coin error that has transformed ordinary people into extraordinary success stories. Welcome to a journey that blends history, wealth, and the thrill of hidden treasure. And fair warning, after watching this, you may never look at pocket change the same way again. This is not just a video. This is your invitation to step into the world of high-demand, high-value rare coins, where opportunities are waiting quietly in everyday places. So lean in, because what you're about to discover could be the turning point you didn't even know you were searching for. Let's begin where all great transformations begin, in the ordinary. A simple penny, a tiny flash of copper, a coin most people would step over on a sidewalk without a second thought. But for those who understand the rare coin market, the smallest details can separate spare change from a six-figure treasure. The 1995 Lincoln cent was produced in massive numbers. Hundreds of millions rolled out of the U.S. Mint. But among these ocean-wide waves of coins, a rare error slipped through. A version without a mint mark, carrying subtle production anomalies that elevated it from common currency to a phenomenon collectors chase with relentless passion. Now, if your heart just skipped a beat, that's perfectly normal. Because knowing that a nearly $1 million opportunity could be hiding in your home right now triggers a natural mix of curiosity, fear of missing out, and the thrill of possibility. And that feeling, that means you're paying attention. Before we go any deeper, let me ask you a question. Pattern interrupt. Why is it that every time someone talks about finding a rare coin, it always sounds like a mythical treasure hunt? Well, because it kind of is. But this treasure isn't buried on a map. It might actually be in your kitchen drawer, your car's cup holder, or the old coin jar you keep promising to sort through next weekend. Today, next weekend becomes right now. Because the 1995 no-mint mark penny is one of the most highly demanded error coins in the U.S. market, and collectors are aggressively competing to secure remaining examples before values climb even higher. So what makes this penny worth $989,000 on the modern market? It's not just the missing mint mark. It's the perfect storm of scarcity, desirability, and the explosive rise in demand from collectors who understand the long-term value of production anomalies. And when supply shrinks while demand skyrockets, prices don't just rise. They leap. Right now, the rare coin market is in one of its most bullish eras in decades. And rare errors like this one, they're becoming trophies, not trinkets, assets, not curiosities. People are no longer just collecting these coins. They're competing for them. But here's where the urgency kicks in. While a coin like this can sell for nearly $1 million, the window of opportunity doesn't last forever. Markets shift, discoveries slow down, and as collectors lock these coins into private collections, fewer ever return to public sale. This is why those who act now often become the ones whose stories others talk about years later. Let's interrupt again. Humor for balance. Isn't it funny that we spend our whole lives chasing big money, yet one of the highest value opportunities in America might literally be hiding under our couch cushions? Somewhere out there, someone has vacuumed up a fortune without even knowing it. Now let's connect this moment to something deeper. The people who strike gold in the coin world weren't experts when they started. They simply knew that hidden wealth exists all around us, and they decided to pay attention. And you're here because, on some level, that financial breakthroughs often come from unexpected places. That is exactly why this 1995 no-mint mark penny matters. It's not just rare. It's symbolic. It represents the idea that wealth is not always out of reach. Sometimes, it's already in your hands. The moment where everything comes together, and the opportunity becomes personal. Imagine selling a coin you found for nearly $1 million. What would that do for your life? Would you build your dream home? Launch the business you've been sitting on for years? Invest, travel, or finally take back control of your time? The world of rare coins doesn't just create wealth. It creates freedom. And right now, collectors are actively searching, bidding, and paying premiums for rare error pennies from the 1990s, especially those with missing mint marks and strong production anomalies. The demand is not slowing down. If anything, it's accelerating. You are living in the perfect moment to discover, authenticate, and potentially sell coins that the market desperately wants. And yes, that includes the 1995 no-mint mark Lincoln cent worth $989,000. So here's your empowering final pattern interrupt. What's stopping you from checking your coins today? Gravity? Laziness? A couch that refuses to give up its secrets? Don't let a cushion stand between you and a life-changing discovery. This is your call to action, not just to search for the 1995 no-mint mark penny, but to step into the mindset of someone who sees wealth where others see nothing. Because the people who live wealthy lifestyles don't wait for opportunities, they look for them. And you have just been handed one. Search your coins. Evaluate them. Explore the world of rare currency. The treasure hunt is real. The rewards are extraordinary. And your journey to financial transformation might begin with the simplest, smallest coin you've ever held. Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that a single penny you've ignored your entire life, one you might have tossed into a drawer or dropped between your car seats, is secretly worth nearly $1 million. Yes, a penny. A simple, copper-colored 1965 Lincoln cent with no mint mark, hiding in plain sight. Today, you and I are diving into the story of one such coin, a coin recently valued at an astonishing $977,000, and the life-changing truth behind how an ordinary American could be holding extraordinary wealth without even realizing it. But before we begin, ask yourself one question. Have you ever accidentally given away a small fortune without knowing it? If the answer might be yes, then you need to stay right here. This is not just a video. This is a wake-up call. The year was 1965. America was shifting, changing, racing ahead in a decade full of ambition, innovation, and transformation. The U.S. Mint was under immense pressure, producing billions of coins to meet national demand. In the middle of all this chaos, something unusual happened, something no one expected. A small number of 1965 Lincoln cents were struck with an error so rare, so unusual, that decades later they would become the dreams of collectors, investors, and anyone who understands that wealth can hide in the smallest places. These pennies carried no mint mark, a detail that most people would overlook. But sometimes, in the world of numismatics, the smallest missing detail becomes the biggest opportunity. And for the lucky individual who recently discovered one of these error coins and saw it sell for a staggering $977,000, that tiny missing mark became their ticket to a new lifestyle, one many people only fantasize about. The kind where wealth works for you, opportunity flows to you, and the past turns into profit. But here's the shocking part. Millions of 1965 pennies are still circulating, sitting in jars, lost in attics, resting at the bottom of forgotten boxes, some with the error, some without. And the fear you should feel right now is whether one of those rare treasures passed through your hands and slipped away unnoticed, or worse, is still right in your home but waiting to be discovered. Now, before we go deeper, let me ask you something unusual. A little pattern interrupt to keep your attention sharp. If a penny can be worth nearly $1 million, does that mean your couch cushions are basically a savings account you've been sitting on for years? Well, maybe, but don't go flipping your furniture just yet. Finish this story first. Because this error coin isn't just valuable because it's rare. It's valuable because it represents something bigger, something powerful. A symbol of hidden worth in everyday things. A reminder that treasure doesn't always come in gold bars or real estate portfolios. Sometimes, treasure is waiting in the small things we overlook. Collectors across the U.S. are now hunting aggressively for these 1965 no-mint mark error pennies, and demand is skyrocketing. The coin market has shifted dramatically in the past decade as more collectors, investors, and everyday Americans realize that rare coins are not just historical pieces, they're appreciating assets. Some call them pocket gold. Others call them the safest portable wealth on earth. Whatever you call them, one thing is certain. Opportunity in the coin world is exploding. And this is where the urgency becomes real. Every year that passes, more rare coins disappear into private collections forever. More valuable cents are lost, damaged, or melted down. And each time that happens, the value of the surviving coins climbs even higher. That's why people age 30 to 65, especially those seeking financial freedom, are paying attention more than ever. Selling old coins isn't just a hobby now, it's a wealth strategy, a lifestyle plan, a doorway to those big money moments most people think are impossible. Here's the part people never expect. The individual who sold that $977,000 penny didn't find it in a museum, or in a locked vault, or inherited from some millionaire grandfather. They found it in a simple collection, ordinary coins saved over the years, kept without thought, without intention, without knowing they were holding a life-changing piece of American history. And that's the emotional punch. Wealth was in their hands the entire time, and they never knew it. What's in your hands? What's sitting right now in your home, your office, your storage boxes, waiting quietly for you to pay attention? Don't underestimate the small things. Don't ignore the details. And definitely don't assume you can't be the next person holding a high-value error coin. Rare coins like the 1965 numismatic Lincoln cent are becoming the foundation of modern collectible wealth. And if you're someone who wants to live a wealthier lifestyle, someone who isn't afraid to dream bigger, think smarter, and act faster, this world is calling your name. Before you go digging through your coins, let me give you one last pattern-interrupting question. If you discovered a $977,000 penny today, would you sell it immediately, or would you keep it as your secret treasure for the future? Think carefully, because the truth is, you might already have the answer sitting in a coin jar in your home right now. Act I begins with a story so unbelievable that many collectors are still talking about it today. Imagine opening an old jar of pennies, one you haven't touched in decades, only to discover that one tiny copper coin inside is now worth an astonishing $987,000. That is the reality behind the mysterious 1979 numismatic Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin so rare and so powerful in the market that collectors are competing fiercely for the few examples known to exist. And today, you're about to discover why this small piece of copper has risen to legendary status and why you should be checking every single 1979 penny in your home right now. Before we go deeper, let me ask you something. When you emptied your pockets yesterday, did you ever imagine that one of those pennies could change your financial destiny? Probably not. I mean, most people treat pennies like they're unnecessary. Some even walk past them on the sidewalk like they're invisible. But what if the penny you ignore is the one that could pay off your mortgage, upgrade your entire lifestyle, or even spark the kind of wealth that lets you live life on your terms? Funny how life works. One person tosses a penny, and another person becomes a millionaire from it. Life has a sense of humor, doesn't it? Act 2 begins with the discovery itself. The 1979 numismatic penny comes from a production anomaly so rare that experts describe it as lightning in a bottle. During regular production, coins from Philadelphia normally don't carry a mint mark. But the valuable version of this penny is not simply a numismatic coin. It carries a set of subtle error traits that set it apart from the millions of regular 1979 pennies. And these traits are what turned this coin into a high-demand masterpiece. Collectors have pushed its market value to $987,000 because demand far exceeds supply, and those who understand its significance are determined to secure one before the prices skyrocket even higher. Now here's where the story sparks a bit of fear, because most people have already let go of their chance. These pennies sat in jars, drawers, pockets, and shoeboxes for decades, and many owners simply spent them, unaware of the life-changing fortune they were giving away. Every time I think of it, I can't help imagining someone paying for gas with a penny worth almost $1 million. It's almost painful. But this is exactly why you can't overlook the coins in your house. Your fortune could be sitting right in front of you. And if you don't take action, someone else will. That's the reality of rare coin wealth. It rewards the bold, the curious, and the ones who actually check. But let's reset your attention for a moment with a quick question. If I told you right now that your couch cushions might be holding a six-figure asset, would you suddenly feel motivated to start digging? Exactly. It's that spark of curiosity that separates everyday life from extraordinary opportunity. And today's opportunity is as extraordinary as it gets. As we move deeper into the heart of the story, the excitement begins. The 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln penny carries all the hallmarks of a coin destined for a high-end collector's dream portfolio. The market has labeled it a silent superstar, a coin that quietly existed for decades before exploding into mainstream attention. And as more collectors race to acquire rare error coins, prices keep climbing. This is not a fading trend. This is acceleration. The kind of acceleration that rewards those who take action now rather than later. Act 3 builds with the sense of urgency that every collector understands. The rare coin market is booming. Wealthy investors, collectors, and even newcomers entering the space are aggressively seeking iconic error coins, especially the ones with documented high-value sales. The 1979 no-mint mark penny has already proven its power at auction, and the demand continues to push its value toward the million-dollar threshold. Waiting on a coin like this is not an option. If you have 1979 pennies in your home, the time to check them is now. Not next week. Not next month. Now. Because here's the truth. Opportunities like this don't circle back. They don't wait. They don't politely knock twice. They appear once, and the person who recognizes the moment becomes the story people talk about for years. Your story could be the next one, but here's a small humorous thought before we reach the conclusion. Imagine calling your boss tomorrow and saying, "I won't be coming in today. I found $1 million penny." I guarantee their first reaction won't be belief. It'll be shock. And then maybe a little jealousy. And honestly, can you blame them? As we close this journey, imagine waking up tomorrow knowing a single coin you've ignored for decades. A coin sitting in a drawer, a jar, maybe even buried under old receipts, is now worth nearly $1 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? Yet that is exactly what has happened to discoverers of rare U.S. coin errors, and today, we're diving into one of the most electrifying hidden treasures hiding in plain sight. The 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, the error coin that has stunned collectors by reaching a staggering market value of $966,000. And before you think, come on, a penny? Really? Let me remind you, financial freedom doesn't always come from what you earn. Sometimes it comes from what you already have. And yes, that is your cue to check your pockets. Don't worry, I'll wait. The story of the 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny begins with something deceptively ordinary. In 1978, millions of pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and traditionally, coins from that facility carried no mint mark. Yet not every no mint mark coin is the same, and that's where the magic begins. Something unusual occurred during minting that year. A small batch of coins left the mint with a distinct strike anomaly, an error so visually unique, so undeniably rare, that collectors today treat it like the holy grail of modern America's small-denomination coins. And here's where fear slips in, not fear of danger, but fear of missing out. Because the truth is simple. Most people walked past this treasure for decades. They spent it on gum, let it fall between couch cushions, dropped it in tip jars. And the haunting question is, did you? This penny, once worth only 1 cent, is now one scarce example away from changing someone's life forever. And that someone could be you. As the coin's strange anomaly caught the attention of experts, something interesting happened. Its value didn't just rise, it skyrocketed. Imagine a penny outpacing luxury cars, premium real estate, and even some startup investments. The urgency became real. Collectors began scrambling, searching, digging through their old jars like treasure hunters who suddenly realized they had been sitting on a map the entire time. But why does this coin command nearly $1 million today? Simple, because high-value collectors crave what others can't have. Scarcity is power. In the world of rare coins, rarity isn't just desirable. It's financially magnetic. A 1978 no-mint mark error penny is like owning the only surviving page of a forgotten chapter in American minting history. And yes, here comes the excitement. Because the market today isn't just strong, it's hungry. Investors, wealthy hobbyists, and high-end auction houses are aggressively competing for rare error coins. The 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just valuable. It's in demand. Ferocious demand. When a coin reaches this level, it enters an elite category where ordinary collectors can't even dream of bidding. It becomes a magnet for the wealthy, a symbol of prestige, a quiet flex of financial brilliance. Think of it this way, you're not just selling a coin, you're selling history, wrapped in rarity, dipped in exclusivity, and backed by a market begging to pay top dollar. And if you're thinking, why didn't I hear about this sooner? Well, that's the humor of the coin world. People obsess over Bitcoin and gold, but the real gold might be hiding in a penny jar next to expired coupons and an old AA battery. Quick question, when was the last time you picked up a penny off the ground? If you're like most people, you probably stopped doing that years ago. But after watching this video, you might just sprint across the parking lot for one. Don't worry. If someone sees you, just tell them you're chasing your millionaire moment. Works every time. Let's talk about the moment everything changes. The moment someone recognizes what they have. Imagine holding a tiny copper coin that suddenly feels heavier. Not because of its weight, but because of what it represents. Opportunity, wealth, legacy. Selling a 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny at today's market value of $966,000 is not just a profitable decision. It's transformational. It's the kind of income that allows you to clear debt, invest in property, fund a dream business, or simply live with the freedom most people only talk about. And that's why understanding rare coins isn't just a hobby. It's a doorway to financial elevation. But here's the truth that most people never hear. Treasures like this are found by those who look, not by experts, not by millionaires, but by everyday people who decide to check what they already own. Where others see a penny, you might see the key to a wealthy lifestyle. And here's where everything ties together. Fear pushes you to act, excitement fuels your curiosity, and urgency reminds you that opportunities like this never wait. Rare coins don't sit on the market. They vanish. They are bought instantly. They disappear into private vaults, and once they do, the chance is gone. So if you have old jars, old wallets, old boxes filled with forgotten change, this is not the time to procrastinate. This is the time to take action. Because the next great discovery is not found by wishing, it's found by searching. This is your moment. Don't be one of the millions who spent their rare fortune. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, reaching into an old jar of pennies, and discovering a single coin that could rewrite your financial story. A coin so rare, so extraordinary, that collectors are chasing it with nearly $1 million in hand. Yes, one humble 1967 Lincoln penny, with no mint mark, but with a powerful and shocking error hidden in its copper surface, now carrying a market value reaching an incredible $987,000. If that number stirred something inside you, excitement, disbelief, maybe even a little fear that you might have already spent such a penny, then stay right where you are. Because in the next few minutes, you're going to uncover the truth behind one of the most electrifying discoveries in modern coin collecting. And the best part? This could be sitting in your home right now. The year was 1967. America was transforming, technology was accelerating, and the US Mint was under intense pressure to produce billions of coins to meet a growing, restless economy. Somewhere in the chaos of minting, somewhere inside humming machines and stacks of copper planchets, something unusual happened. An error so subtle, yet so significant, that it created one of the rarest Lincoln cents ever known. No mint mark, a unique, striking anomaly, perfect storm of rarity. For decades, this coin sat unnoticed, blending in with the world's spare change like a quiet millionaire hiding in plain sight. Now picture this. A man just like you, middle-aged, working hard, saving, hoping for something more, sits down one evening to sort through an old coin box left behind by his grandfather. Nothing special, nothing glamorous, until one penny, a simple 1967 cent, catches his eye. Maybe it was a flash of tone. Maybe it was instinct. Or maybe it was destiny. Hours later, this ordinary man learned that the coin he almost flicked off the table was worth more than the house he lived in. That moment shook him, because if a single penny could hold life-changing value, what else had he overlooked? And now, the same question echoes to you. What treasures are hiding right where you live? Before we go deeper, ask yourself something. When was the last time you checked your old drawers, your safe, your childhood coin jar? If your answer is, I don't remember, then congratulations. Your story is already beginning. But here's where the urgency comes in. The 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny error is not just rare. It is in demand at an elite level. High-net-worth collectors are chasing it aggressively. Auctions that were once slow and predictable are now exploding with emotional bidding wars. And every month that passes, the price rises like clockwork. Why? Because wealth gravitates towards scarcity. And this coin is scarcity in its purest form. The error itself, once identified, becomes impossible to unsee. A misstrike, a distinctive anomaly from a year when mint marks were intentionally omitted, making error coins even harder to authenticate and even harder to find. It is the type of coin that only appears once in a generation, the type of coin that makes collectors go silent for a moment when they see it in person. And yes, some of you watching right now already feel it. That strange pull, that excitement, that fear of missing out, that voice whispering, "What if I have one?" But let's reset your attention for a moment with a pattern interrupt. Imagine telling your friends, "I became a millionaire from a penny." They would laugh until you showed them the auction receipt. Then they'd go home and start checking every single coin in their house. And you know what? They should. Because success favors the curious. This is where everything connects. The 1967 penny error is not just a coin. It is proof that opportunity still exists in the smallest moments and the smallest objects. If a 1-cent piece can rise to a value of $987,000, then the real question becomes, what else in your life is undervalued? Now picture your future. Not a vague dream, but something real. The day you walk into a reputable coin dealer or step into a high-end auction house holding a 1967 no-mint mark error penny. The appraiser looks at it, pauses, and slowly lifts his eyes to you. You already know what's coming. Value. Life-changing value. A chance to upgrade your home, fund your retirement, travel, or live the lifestyle you've always imagined but never spoke aloud. This is not about a coin. This is about empowerment. About taking control of your financial destiny using knowledge that most people never bother to seek. At this point, many people watching feel the urgency rising in their chest. Because from the very first second, I want you to imagine this. Somewhere in America, inside a forgotten jar, in a dusty coffee can, or tucked inside an old drawer, sits a tiny copper coin with the power to change someone's life forever. It's a coin most people overlook. A coin millions of Americans have touched without a second thought. Yet one of these coins, one single 1964 Lincoln penny with a rare and astonishing mint error, has been valued at a staggering $976,000. Yes, almost $1 million for one penny. And today, you might be holding one without even knowing it. Let's begin. Act 1 opens with a simple truth. Wealth doesn't always come from the places we expect. Sometimes it comes from the smallest corners of our lives. For many Americans between the ages of 30 and 65, old coins sit quietly in boxes, inherited collections, or pocket change that never gets spent. But if you're someone who dreams of living a life of financial freedom and abundance, a life where your old items work for you instead of collecting dust, then this story matters. Because the 1964 Lincoln penny with a rare mint error has become one of the most aggressively sought-after coins in the numismatic world. Demand is skyrocketing, collectors are bidding fiercely, and every day someone is realizing they've been holding potential wealth without knowing it. And don't worry, this isn't about luck. This is about awareness. This is about being the type of person who notices opportunities before the rest of the world catches on. But before we go deeper, let me reset your attention with something unexpected. Imagine explaining to your spouse that a penny, yes, the same coin they leave on the dresser instead of putting in the jar, just paid for a luxury vacation home. They'd look at you like you'd lost your mind, until you show them the check. Suddenly, They'll be asking if there are any more pennies lying around. Funny how that works. Act 2 now pulls us beneath the surface into the world of mint errors, those rare factory mistakes that turn ordinary coins into extraordinary treasures. The 1964 D penny is already iconic, produced during a year of rapid coinage where the Denver Mint was under intense pressure. And pressure leads to mistakes. Mistakes lead to rarity. And rarity leads to jaw-dropping value. The error that pushes this particular penny close to $1 million is so unusual, so visually striking, and so historically linked to a key moment in U.S. minting that collectors are willing to pay astonishing sums to own it. Some call it a once-in-a-generation find. Others call it the holy grail of modern Lincoln cents. This is where excitement and urgency collide, because the window for discovering these rare coins is shrinking. Collectors are scooping them up faster than ever. Sellers who once hesitated are now cashing in. And the longer these coins disappear into private collections, the harder they will be to find again. If you've ever wondered what it feels like to be early, to be ahead of a trend, ahead of a movement, ahead of the masses, this is it. This is your moment. And remember, no one ever gets wealthy by waiting. Wealth moves to those who move first. Let me add another pattern interrupt here, just to refresh your focus. Picture this. You're rummaging through your old coins, and suddenly your heart jumps. Could this be the one? You squint, maybe even pull out your phone flashlight like a detective in a crime show. A penny worth nearly $1 million? It sounds outrageous. But then again, so does someone winning the lottery, and this is far more realistic. Act 3 brings us home, but with momentum, clarity, and inspiration. The truth is simple. These rare coins represent more than financial opportunity. They represent empowerment. They remind us that wealth is closer than we think, that the overlooked can become the extraordinary, that your past can fund your future. The 1964 D-era penny is a symbol of this truth, a symbol that resonates with collectors, investors, and anyone who understands the value of hidden potential. And here's where everything connects. When you know what to look for, when you examine your coins with purpose, when you take action instead of waiting for the right moment, you step into a different category of person. You become someone who sees opportunity where others see ordinary copper. Someone who recognizes value long before it hits the headlines. Someone who doesn't just dream of a wealthy lifestyle, but actively builds it. You might be holding a fortune right now without knowing it. The question is, will you check? Will you act? Will you take the next step before someone else finds the treasure you walked past? Because the only thing more painful than missing out is realizing you had the chance all along. And that nearly $1 million penny, the one making headlines, raising eyebrows, and sending collectors into bidding wars, it started just like the penny in your drawer, unnoticed, unappreciated, waiting for someone with vision to discover it. Today, that someone could be you. So as we close, I invite you to explore your own collection, your spare change, your forgotten jars. Imagine waking up one ordinary morning, reaching into a forgotten jar of change, and discovering a coin so rare, so shockingly valuable, that it could rewrite your financial story instantly. A simple 1971 Lincoln penny. Yes, a coin most people overlook every day, quietly sitting in your home, possibly worth $964,000. Now here's the twist. This treasure doesn't shine like gold, doesn't glitter like diamonds, and doesn't need a bank vault. It just needs the right set of eyes. And today, those eyes are yours. Before we go any deeper, let me interrupt your attention with a quick question. If I told you your financial breakthrough wasn't hiding in a stock market, a real estate flip, or a business plan, but inside your loose change, would you check your pocket right now or wait until the end of the video? Don't worry, I can't see you, but judging by the sound of your heartbeat, I think you already know the answer. The 1971 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is one of the most talked about, most aggressively hunted modern-era error coins in the country. Collectors don't just want it. They're chasing it with a level of passion usually reserved for rare art or vintage sports cars. And for good reason. The current market value has surged to an extraordinary $964,000. Yes, nearly $1 million from a single cent. This is not luck. This is knowledge meeting opportunity. Let's journey back to 1971, a year when the U.S. Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents. Machines were operating at full speed. Pressure was high. The nation needed coins, and the Denver Mint mark was the standard for mass production. But in rare, almost myth-like moments, errors slipped through. A handful of pennies were accidentally struck without their mint mark. They weren't supposed to exist, yet they did. And those survivors, few in number, impossible to recreate, became the silent legends of American coinage. Now here's where excitement meets urgency. Every year, more collectors discover how valuable these error coins have become, and every year, more of them are taken off the market forever. Maybe they're bought by wealthy investors looking for long-term assets. Maybe they're locked deep inside private collections. Whatever the case, supply is shrinking while demand is rising with the force of a tidal wave. And when rarity meets desire, the price can climb into the stratosphere. Before we continue, let me reset your attention with a quick moment of humor. This coin is so valuable that if you dropped it on the street and someone else picked it up, you wouldn't just be upset. You'd suddenly develop Olympic-level sprinting abilities. Imagine explaining that to a bystander. Sorry, I'm not chasing pennies. I'm chasing my future beach house. Sometimes humor is the quickest way to hide the truth, because in this case, the truth is that this coin represents real, life-changing money. Collectors are laser-focused on finding authentic no-mint mark 1971 Lincoln cents with sharp details, strong strikes, original surfaces, and clean overall condition. These qualities transform a simple penny into a powerhouse asset. And when one of these exceptional survivors hits the auction block, bidders don't just show interest, they arrive with a mission. That's why the latest high-grade 1971 no-mint mark error sold for an extraordinary $964,000. That's nearly $1 million from a coin most people assume is worthless. The fear of missing out becomes real here. Every moment you wait is a moment someone else is searching, discovering, and profiting. Somewhere in America, someone will find the next six-figure penny. And the only question is, will it be you? This is where your journey begins. Not in a coin shop, not in an auction hall, but right where you are. Your drawers, your jars, your forgotten boxes from childhood. Maybe your father's old change collection. Maybe the coins you tossed aside because they looked ordinary. Wealth doesn't always announce itself with labels or luxury. Sometimes it hides in plain sight, waiting for someone bold enough to believe it's possible. The 1971 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is no longer just a coin. It's a symbol of opportunity, a reminder that fortunes come to those who stay curious, take action, and move before everyone else does. You're not just watching this video for entertainment. You're here because you know deep down that you're meant for more freedom, more abundance, more financial breakthroughs that lift you into the lifestyle you've always imagined. Let me interrupt your thoughts with one final question. If you discovered this coin today, if you held in your hand a penny worth nearly $1 million, what would that moment feel like? That rush of excitement? That wave of relief? That sense of pride knowing you didn't overlook the opportunity staring right at you? This is your time. Demand is soaring. Collectors are hungry. The market is strong. People with rare coins are stepping into a world of wealth that changes everything, from their homes to their businesses to their legacies. And now that you know what to look for, you're no longer on the outside. You're part of the hunt. So check your coins. Study your change. Explore your collections. Because somewhere out there, another 1971 no-mint mark penny is waiting for the right person to find it. And that person could very well be you. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into an old forgotten jar of pocket change, and realizing that a single penny, yes, a simple 1980 Lincoln 1-cent coin, could be worth more than most people's homes. Today, we're diving into the extraordinary world of the 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a rare error coin that has stunned collectors and investors across the nation, with a current market value soaring near an unbelievable $964,000. If you think a penny can't change your life, stay with me, because the next few minutes might transform the way you look at every single coin you've ever touched. Act 1 opens with mystery and anticipation. It all begins in 1980 at the United States Mint, where billions of pennies were produced. But every so often, in the massive flow of copper-coated planchets and high-speed presses, something unusual slips through. A striking error, a missing detail, a tiny oversight that turns an ordinary coin into a financial miracle. The 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is exactly that miracle. While Philadelphia minted coins typically carry no mint mark, this specific error goes far deeper than a simple absence of the letter. It displays a unique striking flaw and a rare die state that instantly sets it apart, giving it the kind of scarcity that collectors chase for decades. And here's the part people never expect. Coins like this don't just rise in value. They explode, turning small discoveries into massive fortunes. Just as you start imagining the possibilities, let's reset your attention for a second. Have you ever held a penny and thought, wow, this might be worth a house? Probably not. Most of us just toss them in a kitchen drawer next to batteries, twist ties, and that one mysterious key no one remembers. Yet, hidden in that same drawer could be the ticket to a wealthy lifestyle. It's funny in a way. People step over pennies on the sidewalk, but those same people might be walking past a fortune without realizing it. We move deeper into Act 2. The story shifts from mystery to revelation. The demand for rare American coins has skyrocketed, especially among individuals in their prime earning years who want to convert old collections into life-changing money. The 1980 no-mint mark penny has become one of the most sought-after coins in the collectible market, and its extreme rarity has created an ongoing surge in bidding wars. Serious investors know that when a coin crosses the six-figure mark, it's not just a collectible. It becomes an asset. That's exactly why this penny, valued at roughly $964,000, has captured the attention of seasoned numismatists and newcomers alike. And here's where excitement gives way to urgency. Coins with this level of rarity don't stay on the market long. When they appear, competition becomes fierce and fast, and opportunities vanish in seconds. But let's interrupt the tension for a heartbeat. Imagine telling your friends, I retired early because of a penny. They'd probably laugh until you show them the check. Moments like this remind us that wealth often comes from unexpected places. Sometimes it's not about grinding harder. It's about recognizing hidden value that's been right in front of you. Back to the story. The deeper collectors studied this 1980-era penny, the more they realized its differences weren't accidental. They were extraordinary. The die characteristics, the crispness of the strike, the lack of a mint mark paired with unique features only seen in a tiny handful of examples. All of it combined into a coin that now stands as one of the crown jewels of modern U.S. minting. What makes this even more powerful is that coins from the 1980s are still easily found in circulation. Tucked into piggy banks, old wallets, and roll sets passed down through families without anyone knowing what's inside. The treasure is out there, and it could be sitting in your home right now. Act 3 brings us to transformation the moment your perspective permanently shifts. Now that you understand the value, rarity, and explosive market demand behind the 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, you're equipped with something far more valuable than a coin. You have knowledge. Knowledge that can elevate you from casually holding old change to intentionally searching for assets worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Knowledge that turns everyday moments into opportunities. And knowledge that can help you take steps toward the wealthy lifestyle you deserve. There is a reason collectors are racing to search old jars, bankrolls, and inherited boxes of coins. There is a reason demand is growing faster than supply. There is a reason wealthy investors are funneling money into error coins like this. The window is open now, but it will not stay open forever. Rare coins appreciate because time moves forward, not backward. Every day, fewer are discovered and more are locked away into private collections. So here is your moment. The call to action, the turning point. After this video, take a quiet minute to search your coins with new eyes. The next great discovery could be your own. And whether your goal is to sell, invest, or step confidently toward the life you've always envisioned, remember that success doesn't always begin with something big. Sometimes, it starts with something as small, as ordinary, and as overlooked as a single penny. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into an old coffee jar of loose change, and pulling out a coin so rare that it could elevate your lifestyle overnight. A coin so valuable that the current market has pushed its price to an astonishing $987,000. Yes, you heard that right. Today, we're exploring the unbelievable story of the 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, the coin error that has collectors in a frenzy and sellers seeing life-changing checks. Stay with me because what you're about to hear just might transform the way you look at every single penny you've ever touched. Act 1 begins with a simple truth. Most people don't realize that extraordinary wealth often hides in the most ordinary places. The 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is the perfect example. At first glance, it looks like every other penny you've tossed into the bottom of your car cup holder. But it's secret, a striking absence of the mint mark that should have never been missing. This unintentional error created a rarity so extreme that experts consider it one of the most desirable modern coins in the American market today. And with demand exploding, collectors are willing to pay nearly $1 million for a clean, well-preserved specimen. Before we go deeper, let me interrupt you with a simple question. When was the last time you actually checked a penny instead of giving it to a vending machine? If your answer is never, don't worry. Most people don't. And that is exactly why treasures like this slip silently through generations, unnoticed. But not today. Not on your watch. Act 2 takes us into the heart of the story, where fear meets opportunity. Because the truth is powerful, and sometimes frightening. While millions of Americans casually spend away rare coins every single day without ever realizing it, smart collectors and sellers are cashing in. If that thought doesn't give you a little chill, it should. The fear of missing out is real, and the stakes are enormous. The market is shifting fast, and coins like this 1994 no-mint Mark penny are being hunted with a passion unlike anything we've seen in decades. Now here's where the excitement builds. As news of high-value error coins spreads, demand skyrockets. Auction houses are reporting fierce bidding wars. Private collectors are offering eye-watering sums. And the 1994 no-mint Mark penny? It has become the star of the show. With a current market valuation of $987,000, it stands in a league of its own, a symbol of hidden opportunity that most people never realize is sitting right in their homes. And if you're thinking, could I have one? The answer is simple. You'll never know until you look up. Let's reset your attention with this small humor break. Isn't it funny that the coin worth more than most people's houses is one that's literally worth 1 cent? Talk about an underdog story. As the story progresses, Act 2 connects us to something deeper. This isn't just about coins. It's about the lifestyle that rare coins can unlock. The freedom, the security, the wealth that allows you to step confidently into your future, knowing you made the smart move when others ignored the signs. And the best part? Anyone, absolutely anyone, can find one of these rare treasures. You don't need a degree. You don't need to be a collector. You just need awareness, focus, and the willingness to take action. Which brings us to Act 3, the transformation. This is the turning point where your perspective shifts forever. Because now you understand that every penny, every coin, every old jar tucked away in a closet or garage could hold extraordinary potential. The 1994 no-mint Mark penny is not just a rare coin. It is a wake-up call. A reminder that wealth often sits quietly in the shadows until someone shines a light on it. And today, that someone is you. Picture yourself finding that rare penny. Picture the moment you turn it over. Notice the missing mint mark. Feel your pulse rise as you realize what you're holding. Picture the phone call you make to the auction house, the appraisal meeting, the confirmation that your coin is not just rare, not just valuable, but life-changing. Picture the check. Picture the future. You're not just selling a coin. You're stepping into a wealthier, freer version of your life. And before we close, here's your final pattern interrupt. If pennies could talk, this one would say, "You really thought I was worth 1 cent? Talk about a plot twist." As we reach the end of our journey, the message becomes crystal clear. The opportunity is real. The demand is high. The 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is one of the most sought-after modern coins in America, commanding a market value close to $1 million and rising. Collectors are searching. Sellers are cashing in. And today, you stand at the intersection of awareness and action. So do yourself the favor that future you will thank you for. Check your coins. Search your drawers. Look through old jars, piggy banks, and boxes passed down from family. The next great discovery might be waiting for you at this very moment. And when you find it, your story, your wealth story, begins. Imagine reaching into an old coffee jar of pennies you haven't touched in years and pulling out a coin so rare, so shockingly valuable, that it could rewrite your financial future in an instant. A single coin capable of turning an ordinary day into a defining moment. Today, we're exploring the legendary 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, a coin that collectors in our story value at an astonishing $975,000. Yes, nearly $1 million for a single penny. If that doesn't make your heart beat faster, check your pulse, because this is where ordinary life meets extraordinary opportunity. Act 1 begins with a question that has changed countless lives. What if wealth doesn't have to be earned in decades, but discovered in moments? Across America, tucked away in old drawers, dusty boxes, and forgotten piggy banks, rare coins are silently waiting. Many people walk past fortunes without ever realizing they're touching history. But the 1968 no-mint mark penny, its unusual absence of the mint mark, its unexpected appearance during a year when mint marks were normally used, creates a story of mystery, rarity, and explosive demand. And in a market where rarity is everything, this coin stands like a lighthouse for those who dare to look closer. Before we continue, here's a quick pattern interrupt. Have you ever spent a penny and suddenly wondered if you just tipped away a small fortune? It's the kind of thought that can make you want to run back to the store and ask for your change back. But don't worry, we're about to unravel why certain coins, even ones you've handled 1,000 times, can hold the keys to massive wealth. As we move deeper into Act 2, the emotional stakes rise. Every collector knows the fear of missed opportunities, those stories of people who almost sold their rare coin for face value, unaware of what they had. This fear is real, and it keeps collectors searching, digging, and learning. But this same fear transforms into excitement the moment they finally uncover something extraordinary. The 1968 no-mint mark penny is one of those discoveries that ignites both emotions at once. Its absence of the mint mark is not just an error. It is a marker of destiny, a quiet signal that separates ordinary coins from elite rarities that dominate auction rooms, private collections, and high-end numismatic portfolios. Imagine the feeling of holding this coin in your hand. Imagine the electricity of knowing that your financial storyline could shift in one moment. Imagine the urgency as collectors from across the country compete, negotiate, and sometimes even fight to secure pieces like this before someone else gets to them. With so many collectors dreaming of owning it, and so few examples surfacing, this coin becomes more than metal. It becomes a symbol, a life-changing opportunity for those who recognize its power. And yes, let's interrupt again for just a second. Isn't it amazing how the world can ignore a penny until they hear it might be worth nearly $1 million? Suddenly, every penny gets treated like royalty. People flip on lights, grab magnifiers, and examine coins with the intensity of a detective solving a high-stakes mystery. And honestly, rightfully so. Act 3 brings everything home. The real message isn't only about this single rare penny. It's about awakening a mindset, one that sees possibility everywhere. When you start paying attention to the small things, the dusty things, the forgotten things, you start discovering value where others see nothing. You begin to understand that wealth often hides in unexpected places, waiting for those bold enough to look. Your old change jar might not just be pocket money. It might be the foundation of a completely new chapter in your life. As the story of the 1968 no-mint mark cent closes, a new story begins, the story of your opportunity, your coins, your collection, your potential. The market for rare coins has never been more energized, more competitive, or more filled with buyers hungry to claim the next big rarity. Demand is roaring, collectors are watching, and the window of opportunity is always smallest right before it becomes life-changing. So here is your call to action, delivered not with pressure but with possibility. Search your coins, learn their stories, Take what's been forgotten and bring it back to life. Because the next person to find a coin worth a fortune could be anyone watching this video, and it could happen today. And just one more pattern interrupt before we end. Remember the days when you tossed pennies into fountains and made wishes? Well, now the pennies might be granting the wishes. Funny how life works. Your wealthy lifestyle, your freedom, your transformation may already be in your home, waiting quietly, shining faintly, ready to change everything. The journey begins the moment you decide to look. Imagine holding a coin in your hand, a simple Lincoln penny from 2002, minted in Denver, appearing ordinary, almost mundane. Now, imagine that very same penny, under the keen eye of a collector, transforming into a treasure that could fetch over $927,000 in today's market. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, sitting quietly in your drawer, could make someone gasp in disbelief. If you've ever doubted the power of rare coins, brace yourself. What you see as ordinary could very well be extraordinary. This is not just about money. It's about recognizing history, rarity, and the fleeting chance to claim what others overlook. Let's step into the story of the 2002 Lincoln 1-cent penny error, a coin that has become the obsession of discerning collectors nationwide. Most people toss pennies into a jar without a second thought, but the 2002 error is no ordinary copper disc. This coin carries a story of mistakes turned miracles. Mint errors like this occur when the alignment, die strike, or planchet defects accidentally produce something that the US Mint never intended. And here's the kicker, these are not just mistakes. They are the rarest kind of mistakes, the ones that ignite auctions, whispers in collector circles, and jaw-dropping offers. Pause for a second. Did you ever think a coin worth under $1 in your pocket could suddenly make someone think twice about retiring early? Most people pass by it, unaware of the hidden fortune in their hands. The 2002 Lincoln penny error is in high demand, sought after by investors, collectors, and treasure hunters alike. It isn't just a coin. It's a ticket to exclusivity, a piece of history that only a select few will ever hold. And let's be honest, if you had one, wouldn't you want to know it's worth nearly $1 million before it slips through your fingers? Now, I want you to imagine the thrill of discovery. You're sorting through old coins in a dusty drawer or an old coin album, and there it is, subtle yet striking. Maybe it's the die shift, the doubled strike, or the missing detail that makes it unique. You pick it up, and your heart races. Excitement, fear, urgency, all at once. Because this coin isn't just rare, it's highly coveted, and every collector on the planet would give anything to add it to their collection. This is the moment where ordinary life meets extraordinary opportunity. And here's a little humor to reset your attention. If you drop this penny, don't worry. This isn't a lucky penny anymore. It's more like a miniature gold bar. But here's the deeper truth. The world of coin collecting is ruthless. Rarity isn't enough. Condition, provenance, and timing determine whether a coin sells for hundreds, thousands, or nearly $1 million. Imagine waiting too long, only to realize that the coin you dismissed is now displayed behind glass in someone else's home. Or worse, locked away in a vault you'll never see. Fear, right? But it's also a call to action. A gentle nudge from history itself. Pay attention, because these opportunities don't come twice. And while we marvel at the value, let's not forget the story this coin carries. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation since 1909, a symbol of American resilience and history. But this 2002 error is like a rare comet streaking across the collector universe. A momentary anomaly that becomes legendary. It connects the past, the present, and your future in one small, unassuming disc of copper. Owning it is about more than money. It's about prestige, legacy, and the thrill of being among the few who truly understand its value as we near the end of our story. Consider this. Every moment you wait, the market moves, collectors bid, and history continues. This coin isn't static. It's alive in the world of collectors, a gem whose value is only climbing. The 2002 Lincoln penny error represents more than wealth. It's exclusivity, vision, and foresight, a symbol of recognizing value where others see nothing. The question isn't if you should pay attention. It's whether you'll act before it's gone, so next time you hold a penny, think twice. That tiny coin may just be your gateway to a world where history, rarity, and opportunity collide. The 2002 Lincoln 1-cent error is highly sought after, exceedingly rare, and poised to change fortunes. The excitement is real, the stakes are high, and the moment to act is now. Don't let ordinary blinders keep you from extraordinary discovery, because this isn't just a coin. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance waiting in the palm of your hand. If you want, I can also break the script into exact timed cues and pacing for a 10-minute faceless video, including where to insert voice inflection, music cues, sound effects, and visual suggestions to maximize engagement and urgency. This makes it ready for production.